What's happening, guys? I'm going to talk to you about quantum jumping. Let's get it today.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there, guys. How's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today, we're talking about quantum jumping. If you guys aren't familiar, we have a quantum jumping course for you. 3 days, okay? The next one is in December 17th for 3 days, okay? Definitely check it out. It's called Writing Reality. It's going to absolutely transform your life, and I put my heart and sleeve and soul into that program along with Ivan Acosta, who's one of my good friends, and together we'll take you through this process where we actually get you to identity hop, transform your complete avatar, hop into a parallel universe lifeline, and get you there, okay? Now, there's a bit of a background to how this actually works, and you know, I've been looking into a lot of protocols on how I can quantum jump, and I've done it through many times in portals of my life, and I understand how it happens, okay? I am really starting to see the fruits of my labor from my manifestations and things like this, okay? So first of all, I want to explain to you what exactly is going on, okay? One thing to understand is this bell curve. Okay, so check out this bell curve, okay? One side you have reactivity, one side we have frequency. Got it? So reactivity is basically like an emotional charge, like, you know, reaction. Like you get triggered and you suddenly have a heightened impulse of energy, right? A lot of energy to work with. So, and the frequency is just means like the level of consciousness, right? So in a sense, you could think of like really enlightened people here on this end, so they don't require that much more energy, because notice that the more higher in frequency that you go, or the more enlightened people, they're more still, okay? Why is that? Well, have you ever seen a film flickering really fast, and slowly as the lights flicker, it just becomes one image, right? It becomes a frames per second that's vibrating very high, and so it appears to be still. That's how you raise in consciousness. That's what enlightenment is. You're so many frames per second that you are in that stillness. You don't need to exert extra energy to get out of the matrix. Does that make sense? It's like if you were here, right, you're in levels of like anger, fear, pride, below the level of courage in the scale of consciousness, if you've ever seen that model, right? So you want to understand that to quantum jump, you need elated emotions. This is the elated emotion. So from here, society is keeping you stuck because it's instigating fear, it's getting you angry and pissed off, and also it's like it's accessing your ego and your pride mechanism to get you to move you and manipulate you where it wants you to go, and you're being a cog in that machine. So in order for you to stop doing that, you're going to have to become conscious and actually go further along in this line. So now what I want you to understand is, in order for you to manifest, you need your creation and your desire to conjoin, which is masculine and feminine energy, mind and your heart, okay? Mind is more masculine, heart is more feminine, and we need both in order to hop timelines or to get that lifeline timeline change, right? So the elated emotions, let's say you're feeling absolute bliss, and your thoughts, words, actions, feelings, behaviors, everything just conjoins, just aligns together purely in that elevated state of emotion. Now that is the time, the perfect time for you to jump timelines, okay? Now if we're speaking about 4D, 5D actually has like 32 nodes, right? To join it into 5D, fifth dimension. What is a fifth dimensional being? If I were to ask you right now, what is a fifth dimensional being? A fifth dimensional being is someone who has access to the past and the future, right? They can control time, in a sense. They're able to go into the past and change things, go into the future and change things, right? They're like a time hopper. And also they have access to all of the parallel universes. They see all the parallel universes that are out there, right? So it's difficult for you to change reality in that sense if you don't change the big impact moments in your life. Because that is what changed your timeline. It kept shifting you out of the desired timeline that you had. It kept shifting you into random timelines, right? In those elated emotions, maybe some pendulum, like I know Vadim, the guy who does reality transferring, he talks about pendulums, right? These are energy structures that just, drain your energy, that is a part of a previously made structure, right? So this is how sometimes even societal structures or constructs can drain our energies and use a lot of it gets us reactive, right? And that reactivity gets us to stay in that little pocket of lower vibration. So we actually need courage to be the launch pad, right? Against the fear, in a sense. Opposite of fear, I would say it's either faith or love, right? Faith, I'm saying faith because notice that very simple-minded people, right? Very simple people, they pray, they go to church, they sometimes get what they want, right? And people who are like really struggling, analytical, complex minds, they often don't get what they want. Why? Because their thoughts, the thoughts of the analytical, anxious people, like that's me, man. Like I have to retrain myself out of that, obviously. However, the minds of the anxious, analytical people, how it's going, is it's thinking of counter intentions, right? You have an intention in mind, but the analytical person is saying, nah, maybe not there, I don't know, perhaps, nah, that's gonna cause a lot of problems if I do it that way. But what if I carry the one, And so it's just all of this excess data into the mix, not simplifying, not making it basic, not coming from the foundation. It's just adding complexity onto it, which causes more confusion. Now, deep complexity, I enjoy that too, but we can get trapped there, right? So it's a process that you're gonna have to hop it. You're gonna just have to hop it and trust in it and have faith. Have faith just move you forward, right? The belief system and faith are very different. You can have a belief system and have no faith at all, right? Or you could have extreme faith and a weak belief system. I think extreme faith is way more powerful. Like absolute 100% faith that you're going to be protected by the universe, that you have like all of these baseline like core belief ideas that are strong ones, right, will override the old ones. Like it's important to go back in your memories and do the past work, the shadow work, the inner child healing work, right, all of that, because what we're doing is we're changing the lifeline, because we're accessing those heart and mind conjoined events in your life. Does that make sense? So what we do in writing reality is we take you in day one and we work primarily just on your past, childhood issues, your past, whatever came up, your storylines, the ways that you were acting when you were younger. We go into all of that. It's more therapeutic in its approach. And then we move into the reality, day 2, where we look at what's going on in your reality. And day 3 is where we finally quantum jump and we leap based on all the information from the 2 days. On the 3rd day, what we basically do is we get you to really truly embody that character that you're wanting to play, that you're wanting to be, right? This is a very powerful protocol. And actually, we're going to give out certificates and a little graduation gift for you guys if you go through that program, because when you go through that program, it gives you the ability to be a reality shapeshifter. It gets you to actually understand how to do this process. You know what I mean? And so once you can access that, it becomes such a powerful paradigm that you can step into. It becomes very powerful. So try and consider this and try and implement this into your day today when you go about it, and understand that your elevated emotions, those are the times where you have to switch your mind on into understanding what is really happening, okay? Are you coming from that fear, that anger, that pride, or can you transcend that into courage, into willingness, into acceptance, where you melt the energy, right? You accept it, you melt it. It just goes, you neutralize it, right? And then from that neutral point, then you have a better chance of jumping. We first have to neutralize, get to day 2, And then from day 2, we're going to reprint the new edition of your book, Your Reality. You're the author. Let's get it. Upward Spiral gang. Let's get it. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's crush it today. Boom.